I felt like a shove. Okay. And I was almost pushed over the edge.
I cannot believe this ended the way that it did. Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Hope everybody is feeling good. So do y'all remember Gerhardt Konig, this guy right here? This was the doctor that was with his wife in Hawaii when he tried to completely take her out. Well, his trial just finished, and I gotta tell y'all, I just knew what the ending of this trial was gonna be, the amount of evidence that was in this case, but it didn't end exactly how I thought it was, so we got to talk about it today. Before we go any further, I did want to stop and thank today's sponsor, Quince. If you guys do not know about Quince, let me tell y'all, because they are your one-stop shop where you can get luxury style items that feel effortless. Clothes designed using premium materials like 100% European linen and organic cotton. Bedding that makes you feel transported to your favorite hotel, and oh my gosh, look at my new duvet cover that I got from Quince. I absolutely love it, along with the matching sheets. And with Quince, you can get pretty much all your other everyday essentials. I mean, you can get cookware, baby items, kid items, back to school types of stuff, travel items, and they're all crafted from high quality materials that are made to last, but also fairly priced. And I don't know if I ever showed y'all this black skirt that I got from Quince. I got this last year. I'm a curvy girl and it fits perfectly, you guys. It just like lays on your waist. It does not cut in. I'm wearing a medium here, and it shapes you around your hips, and then it's loose where your knees are. I absolutely love this skirt. And because Quince works directly with top manufacturers, they completely cut out the middleman. So there's no brand markup, just high quality products at everyday prices. And thousands of people agree, which is why Quince has a 4.5 to a 5-star rating across all of their product lines. If you want to try Quince, you can upgrade your lifestyle today by going to quince.com/Christina Randall, and you can get free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada as well. Just go to Quince, QUINCE.com/Christina Randall, and you can get free shipping plus 365-day returns today. Thanks again, Quince. Now, not only did his wife at the time, Arielle, testify against her husband, Gerhardt, but he himself got on the stand and testified in his own defense. And we all know how that typically pans out. And Gerhardt's own biological son testified against him. Before we get into everything, I need to remind y'all, I am not a professional. I do not know any of these people personally. I'm pulling all of my information from very public sources, news sources that's already out there. Everything in this video is alleged. Go do your own research and form your own opinions. Just don't show hate to anybody anywhere. So before I tell y'all about the trial, which, whoa, I'm going to give y'all a quick recap about what happened before the trial so you guys are all refreshed. Back when this incident first happened, 46-year-old Gerhardt Konig was living in Hawaii with his 36-year-old wife, Arielle. They had 2 sons together. Now, Gerhardt and Arielle, they got married back in 2018, and at the time, they were living in Pennsylvania. But in 2022, they decided to move to Maui. And you guys, talk about a dream, right? Well, Gerhardt was this like prominent anesthesiologist. When him and Arielle moved to Maui, Gerhardt ended up taking a partner role at the anesthesia medical group in Maui. Like, big deal. Back then, all of his colleagues said that he was a really friendly guy, but he was just quiet and kind of stayed to himself. Now, Arielle, Gerhardt's wife at the time, she got her bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering from Penn State University, and she got an MBA from the University of Pittsburgh. And she was working as a project manager at a nuclear reactor design and development engineering company called TerraPower. So she had it going on too. He's an anesthesiologist. She is a project manager at this big power company. I mean, these two were doing the dang thing. However, it has since come out that even though Gerhardt and Arielle had been married for 6 years by the time of this incident, they had been having marital problems. We hear about this all the time. But still, it was quite shocking when the news broke that Gerhardt had just seemingly snapped and tried to end his wife Arielle's life. This incident happened on March 24th of last year, 2025, and it was supposed to be this like fun birthday trip planned by Gerhardt for Arielle. So you think about it, okay, they've been married now for 6 years. They were in Pennsylvania. They pack up their 2 kids that they have together, as well as Gerhardt's son from his first marriage, and they moved to Maui. Hello, dream come true. He takes on this partnership position as an anesthesiologist. She's working as a project manager. Everything seems from the outside, it is going great. Then Gerhardt plans this birthday trip for his wife, for just the 2 of them to go on to. Well, that day, Arielle said that her and Gerhardt were walking on a trail at the Pali Lookout in Hawaii when Gerhardt asked his wife Arielle to take a selfie with him at the end of the trail that was along this like really steep mountain. Now, you guys, I don't care who you are, if you my husband, if you my son, if you are the president, the pope, or anybody else in between. If you want me to stand on the edge of a steep mountain, I'm not the one. You need to get somebody else to get that selfie with you because I don't like heights and it freaks me out. Well, Arielle said that she told her husband Gerhardt that she was not comfortable standing that close to the edge, so she started to walk away. This is when she said her husband Gerhardt started to yell at her to come back and grabbed her by the arm, trying to pull her back towards the edge. How terrifying, right? Like, come get this selfie with me on the edge of this cliff. Well, they ended up in a struggle and then on the ground. Arielle tried her best to get away, but Gerhardt picked up a rock and used it on her more than 10 times while pushing her face into the dirt. Arielle said that she saw Gerhardt get 2 syringes out of his backpack and was attempting to use them on her. But by the grace of God, there was 2 women that was hiking on this same trail, and they heard Arielle yelling for help. And so when they approached, Gerhardt got off of her and he took off running. Now, Gerhardt was arrested and he was charged with 2nd-degree attempted murder. Now, Gerhardt claims that he was only acting in self-defense and he ended up pleading not guilty to the charges. His trial started on March of 19th of this year, 2026. Now, during Gerhardt's trial, Arielle got on the stand as she testified against her then husband. During her testimony, she said that Gerhardt had found out that she was having what she said was an emotional affair with a male coworker. She said that Gerhardt started getting really suspicious when Arielle went on a business trip with this coworker.
Under oath today that after the discovery of, these communications with you and Mr. Miller, you and Gerhardt would refer what had happened between the 2 of you, you would refer to it as an emotional affair, correct?
That's right.
All right. In fact, there were times in communications where he referred to it as a secret affair, yes?
When you say he, you mean Gerhardt?
Yes.
I don't recall, but potentially.
Okay, we'll come back to that. And in fact, in the counseling sessions that you guys had, it was whatever was going on with Mr. Miller was referred to as emotional infidelity at times, yes?
As far as I can recall, yes.
Okay.
And I mean, no matter what happened, she didn't deserve this situation, but I mean, if she was having an emotional affair with him and now she's taking a business trip with him, I can understand being suspicious. But nevertheless, Arielle did admit that she had been deleting flirty text that she had with this coworker, according to Gerhardt, and that he could tell that Arielle had been hiding things from him. So there's this animosity building between them. He feels like she's having some sort of affair. She's deleting texts, giggling probably over in the corner, going to take this business trip with this guy, and he's slowly unraveling. But even with all of that, they decided that they were going to stay together and then they would go get into marriage counseling to try to make it work. Now, as a reminder, since all of this happened, Arielle has filed for a divorce. If you remember from my original video, Arielle was basically saved by those 2 hikers that heard her calling for help. And when these hikers found Arielle, they said that they saw Gerhardt with a rock in his hand And Arielle literally said to them, he's trying to end my life. He is hitting me in the head with a rock. These hikers got on the stand and they testified to this. But then the body cam footage from that day was also played in court. Now get this, Gerhardt's son from his previous marriage, the one that I told y'all about earlier, his name is Emil. He got on the stand and testified as well. He said that his dad literally FaceTimed him after the incident, and I cannot imagine, y'all, what this young man or this teenager felt. He gets a FaceTime from his dad. He answers the call. He said during the call, his dad told him that he had tried to end Arielle, his stepmother's life.
And did the defendant tell you anything during that call?
Yes.
What did the defendant tell you during that call, as close to word for word as you can remember?
That he would not be making it back to Maui and to take good care of the younger kids, and that Ari, my stepmom, had been cheating on him, and that he tried to kill her.
Okay.
Now, Emil also said while they were literally on this FaceTime call, he noticed something on his dad's shirt and he asked his dad what it was. And he said that Gerhardt told him that it was indeed Arielle's.
Yes. I asked what was on his shirt because it looked like I saw splatters of something on his shirt. And he said, oh, it's just her, meaning Ari's.
On the same FaceTime, Emil said that his dad told him that he was planning on jumping off a cliff.
Did the defendant tell you anything about what he planned to do next?
During that call, the next plan that he said was to jump off the cliff.
And how did you react to hearing that?
I told him not to.
And again, I cannot imagine what he was feeling. This is his literal dad telling him that he tried to do this. He's got this red bodily fluids on his shirt and he's about to end his own life at this point. He had to have been a nervous wreck, probably crying, upset, not knowing what to do. Like, why FaceTime your son and put them through that? How selfish. Anyways, in their opening statement, the defense said that Gerhardt never made these statements to Emil. So not only did he, I'm going to say allegedly, but I believe it. I believe Emil. I do not believe that he just lied on his dad for no reason, just made this whole story up. But not only did he allegedly put his son through this, then he calls him a liar in court. Yes. Emil is now living with Arielle, his stepmother, and he says that he has not spoken to his father since all of this happened. Now, this all allegedly happened, this phone call, while Gerhardt was literally hiding on this mountain for 8 hours because the police was looking for him. When he eventually came down off of the mountain, he was immediately arrested, and right after the incident, Arielle did file for a restraining order and accused Gerhardt of being extremely jealous. She said that he had been trying to control her and even essaying her. Now, a digital forensics examiner testified during the trial as well, and he said that Gerhardt spent quite a bit of time on Reddit looking at pages related to divorce and infidelity. He also said that Gerhardt made searches for things like hikes in Maui, and he was looking for ratings that determined literally how steep the cliffs were. He also said that Gerhardt searched for terms like danger, death, fall, hike, and stuff like that. Like almost looking for very dangerous hikes to take where people had lost their life before.
Page number 21 of the exhibit. Could you tell us what the last visitor date and time is, as well as explain what the URL means?
Yes. So the last visit date and time was on December 25th, 2024 at 2:22 p.m. And based on the URL, so it was under the subreddit as one after infidelity, and the user of this device searched for the term DARVO, D-A-R-V-O.
Could you explain to us what the term DARVO means?
So the DARVO, so it's an acronym. So the D stands for deny, A stands for attack, R stands for reverse, victim, and offender.
Thank you for explaining. We're going to move to page number 22. Okay. Now we have page 22 of State's Exhibit 105. Could you explain to us again last visit date and time, as well as the title of the page?
Yes, so it was visited on December 25th, 2024 at 2:22 p.m. And the title is Dealing with Intense Limerence / Affair Fog and Darvo from My Wife. I found AP's wife's detail under the subreddit as one after infidelity.
Okay, and the visited date was December 25th at 2:22 p.m.?
Yes, 2:22 p.m., correct.
Then Gerhardt himself got on the stand and he testified in his own defense, and he told the jury all about the affair that Arielle had, which, remember, she said she was only having an emotional affair. He said the day of the incident, he had no intentions to hurt his wife, Arielle, and he said that he was only acting in self-defense.
Right after the selfie, I just remember kind of staying at the edge there and looking over the edge and just kind of still in thought about everything that had just happened and what's going on. And then I felt like a shove,
Okay.
and I was almost pushed over the edge.
Okay. You felt a shove. Okay. Who shoved you?
Ari did.
What did you do right after that?
Barely caught myself and turned around and looked at her and was like, "What the was that?" Like,
Okay. Turn around and it was like what like was like kind of in shock, like what was that?
yes.
Okay. And then did you move towards her?
Yeah, I did. I was like, just asking her, like, what was that, and started walking towards her,
Okay.
because at this point she was like 5 or 10 feet away from me, and her like, what the hell's, what the is happening, what's going on? And as I'm starting to walk towards her, she starts yelling.
She starts yelling.
Yeah, help me, help me.
Okay. And then what happens?
And then I just keep walking to her, like, what are you doing?
Were you
And I
telling
get,
her, like, why are you screaming?
yeah, what are you doing? And I get to her and I'm like, touching her, just putting my hands on her arms, and I was like, what are you doing? What's going on?
What happens then?
She keeps yelling, and she kind of grabs my wrists and throws herself on the ground and pulls me down with her.
So now you guys are on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. When you're on the ground, what starts to happen?
She's holding on to me, and I'm trying to, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but I'm also at this point trying to let go of, like, trying to get free, because she's like actively holding on to me. Like she has her leg like wrapped around one of my legs, and like is actively holding on to me and is yelling. And so I'm trying to, get free, and I get my one arm free, and I try to use it to get my other arm free, and she grabs me by the testicles. And
Okay. Let me stop you there. Did you ever, in the course of this whole thing you described so far, ever try to pull her towards, push her off, or drag her towards the cliff's edge?
no, not at all.
It happened quickly.
Everything after the grabbing of the testicles happened very quickly.
Okay. And you weren't timing it or anything.
No.
This is just your estimate. Okay. So now, she's holding on to you. She's squeezing your testicles, and you kind of dealing with that. And she's on the ground, and you're kind of on top of her.
Yes.
Okay. And you said then you felt you got hit with the rock.
Yes.
Where'd you get hit?
On the left side of my face.
How many times?
She kept doing it the first blow she landed really well, and after that I was able to block
Okay.
fairly well. She did like land a couple more, but not as bad as the first one.
So she still got your
Yeah, so she's like holding my testicle and just like
Okay.
hitting me like this.
And now do you stop dealing with your
I'm
testicles?
just
and you-
focused on the rock at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Did it hurt when you got hit with the rock?
you did.
Explain to the jury what happens next and why.
I was able to wrestle the rock out of her hand.
Does she still have your testicles?
Yes,
Still squeezing them?
yes.
What do
And
you do?
I was able to like. So we're like she's hitting me and I'm like blocking, and then I start like, and I get
Is
her
there a
wrist.
scuffle over the rock?
Yes.
Is it near her face?
Yes. I mean it's
And then what
right.
happens?
And I finally get the rock.
What'd you do?
I hit her with the rock.
How many times do you think you hit her?
I hit her 2 times.
And when you did, was she still holding on to your testicles?
Yes.
At least initially?
Yes.
Why did you hit her? Why did you react that way?
Just on instinct to defend myself.
And listen, I don't know what was going on with her in an affair. We've said this a million times. If you got problems in your marriage, leave the marriage, separate, get a divorce. But you don't do this. And I'm just telling y'all my opinion. I don't believe for a second that this was in self-defense. I just don't. And I especially believe his son. Well, during cross-examination, Gerhardt admitted that he didn't find anything of any kind of like nature in these text messages between Arielle and her coworker. But then it came out that in December of 2024, Gerhardt made a LinkedIn account so he could find this coworker's wife and message her about him and Arielle's inappropriate relationship.
Now, on December 30th, 2024, we're moving closer to New Year's, right?
Yes.
And on December 30th, 2024, you searched LinkedIn again for Andrea Miller, correct?
I don't recall doing that.
You don't
Not
recall?
a specific day, but I do recall looking her up again later in December.
We'll publish Dates Exhibit 109 at page 4. You looked up Andrea Miller on LinkedIn on December 30th, 2024 at 6:49 a.m., correct?
Yes. I looked at her contact info.
She still hadn't replied to your email, right?
That's right.
She never called Ari to yell at her, right?
She never called Ari to do anything, as far as I know. Actually, she might have. She didn't tell me, but as far as I know, Andrea never called Ari.
And then after searching for Andrea on LinkedIn this morning, you canceled your LinkedIn Sales Navigator Core account, correct?
That sounds right. I had to cancel it within 30 days, and so I probably went in LinkedIn to cancel the account, and then also clicked on Andrea's profile.
This is page 5. This is the email confirming your cancellation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, and this is at 6:56 a.m., is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so you look up her email and then you cancel. You look up her account and then you cancel, correct?
Yes.
And you say you cancel because you didn't want to pay the fee, is that right?
That's right. The only reason I signed up for that feature of the LinkedIn account was to be able to get Andrea Miller's contact info.
If you hadn't canceled it, it's in the realm of somewhere about $100 a month, is that right?
It's expensive.
So you got what you wanted, so you were done.
That's right.
Which tells me if all of that is true, he's been knowing about this going on with her or not trusting her for a long time. And he was probably, unraveling. There's much better ways to handle that. I mean, people go through this all the time in marriages and they don't seek out dangerous hikes to take their wife to and then try to force her to take a photo on the edge of the cliff. Anyways, on April 8th of this year, 2026, after hours of deliberating, and mind you, I'm watching this, and when they said that they came back with a verdict already, I'm like, oh my gosh, duh, we know what it's going to be. He's going to be found guilty. The jury found Gerhardt guilty of attempted based upon extreme mental or emotional disturbances. Check this out.
As the clerk of the court reads the verdict of the jury.
Case number 1 CPC-25-0000373 State of Hawaii versus Gerhardt Konig. We, the jury in this case, finds the defendant guilty of attempted manslaughter based upon extreme mental or emotional disturbance, dated 4/8/26 by the foreperson.
Gentlemen, you can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm going to call you by chair number, not by name, but by chair number, and I'm going to ask that you answer out loud either yes or no. If you agree with the verdict that was read out loud here in court, you would answer yes. If you disagree with the verdict that was read out loud in court, you would answer no. Starting with chair number 1.
Yes.
Chair 2.
Yes.
Chair 3.
Yes.
Chair number 4.
Yes.
Chair number 5.
Yes.
Chair number 6.
Yes.
Chair 7.
Yes.
Chair 8.
Yes.
Chair number 9.
Yes.
Chair 10.
Yes.
Chair number 11.
Yes.
Chair number 12. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Dr. Konig, the verdict of the jury is indeed unanimous, and consistent with their verdict, the court judges you guilty of attempted manslaughter in this case.
Now remember, Gerhardt was initially charged with attempted, but instead of convicting him of that, the jury chose the lesser included by attempted manslaughter. I wasn't on the jury, and it is a jury of your peers, so who knows what the jury's gone through in their lives or different things like that. But to me, just the Reddit searches alone and the phone call to the son, this was attempted, in my opinion, because the aspect of means that you planned it out. Even if it was just 1 minute before the incident, you thought it through for a second, but he was seeking out dangerous hikes where people had lost their lives before. I was so shocked that they gave him the lesser. The jury foreperson has since done an interview.
So one of the things that this became kind of he said, she said. She said that he tried to push her. He said she tried to push him. So how did you figure that out? How did you determine what happened?
The determination about what happened at the end was that we had to compare both testimonies from both the people that were involved in the incident at the Palipuka Trail. So based on Arielle's Konig's testimony and putting it side by side by Dr. Konig's testimony, and kind of just finding out what matches and what doesn't, finding a timeline and seeing the crime scene for what it was, and kind of making a decision from there.
So why didn't you find him? Like, who did you believe?
Our belief was based on the definition of the counts.
So did you believe that he tried to push her?
The pushing part was not really anything that we were determining on, because they both said they pushed each other. So we definitely agreed that a push occurred.
But that they pushed each other, and not so much that one tried to throw the other one off the cliff.
Correct. We know that both bodies touched each other on the cliff.
Okay, so then why attempted manslaughter and not attempted murder?
The reason for attempted manslaughter, I think, came down to the reality of that of what the testimony said. So there was definitely a scuffle that was that had happened at that location on the Palipuka that resulted in somebody having bodily image. I'm so sorry.
That's
Can I
okay.
start over?
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So we did determine that there was definitely a scuffle on top of the Palipuka Trail that resulted in an injury to the head that could be bodily injury and serious.
So you believe that he struck her with the rock. How many times do you think that happened?
In his testimony, he did state that he hit her with the rock 2 times.
And did you believe that, or do you think it was more?
I think the valid evidence of that we were presented could stipulate that she was definitely hit twice. That was a definite.
So, so you found him guilty of attempted manslaughter, and that was based on your reading of the instruction.
Manslaughter with due to emotional distress or disturbance.
And what evidence did you find of emotional distress and disturbance?
In both testimonies, they both had showed that there was relationship issues that there had begun prior to this situation on Polypuka Trail, and that they were outside of their Maui County location, enjoying time together to build their relationship up.
So you thought it was related to the relationship?
Well, they were up there as a couple, so yes.
Okay. So why didn't you think that he was trying to kill her, ultimately?
Ultimately, we just agreed that per the instructions that we were given and the definitions that we were set to look at and focus on, that somebody was definitely hurt with a bodily injury to a head that could result in serious bodily injury.
The problem is, now that this juror has said all of this, that they did not believe that Gerhardt actually intended to end his wife's life, this definitely could raise an appeal issue. And apparently in Hawaii, the intent to end someone's life is an element of attempted. And since the attempted manslaughter charge is a lesser included of that, it would seem that the jury would have had to have found intent to end, the attempt to kill. Now, because of all of that, at Gerhardt's sentencing, which is scheduled for August of this year, Gerhardt is facing, listen to this, a maximum of 20 years in prison and a minimum probation with the possibility of up to 6 months in prison. Can you believe that? A minimum? He's probably already been in there for 6 months, so he might even get time served depending on how much time he's actually spent in jail, and then get out on probation. Can you imagine? Experts are wondering if the defense is going to try to use the foreperson statement like to argue for probation. The defense has already came out and stated that they're definitely going to be filing for an appeal as well. So what do y'all think? I am shocked. I am shocked that he did not get the attempted. Like, what? I would love to know truly the jury's whole thought process on that. Was he in emotional distress? And so, yeah, but if you're telling me this started back in 2024, he had plenty of time to take a different route. It's not like a crime of passion, right? You're married, you walk in for a lunch break not thinking anything, and you catch your husband or wife literally in the bed in the act and you snap. Okay, not saying you should do that either, but like, it just happens. This is something he's obviously been stewing over, thinking about, still holding his business, seeked out allegedly hikes that were dangerous, had 2 syringes with him. How is this not with intent? I don't understand, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, and I find it very bizarre. And the person that I feel the worst for in all of this is obviously the 2 little ones. That's their dad, and the stepson, who's now being raised by his stepmom, which nothing wrong with that, Lord knows. But his dad got up there and called him a liar after calling him and probably putting him through you know what that day at the very least. It's terrible, terrible. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a great weekend. Love you guys. Bye.